The availability of smartphones and tablets means we can connect, communicate, and share anytime, anywhere. That has led to a spike in data traffic. In fact, overall, mobile traffic grew by 159% in 2010 and rose another 133% last year.
Now that's a huge jump, but as money expert David Goldman explains, telecommunication companies are having a hard time keeping up with the telephone superhighway.
So anytime that you're getting on the network, you're driving down a highway. You always were able to connect, but that was on a wire. Now you're connecting wirelessly. And to do that, everyone has to get on a cell tower. And especially in a park like this, where everyone is trying to connect, that eats up a lot of bandwidth. And it's much more difficult to do it wirelessly.
The bandwidth lives on the radio spectrum, a fixed range of frequencies between 3 kilohertz and 300 gigahertz controlled by the FCC. It's a large amount used for many different types of communication, but only a small section is good for video. And within that small section is even a smaller band, and that's what's best for sending material over the mobile phone network. Some, of course, refer to this as the beachfront property of the spectrum.
Now, as more and more of us jump on our cell phones, that sweet spot in the band is getting jammed up, and experts say they just can't make any more.
There is a finite amount, and even more importantly, only a limited amount of it is actually viable to use for communications. That's because certain frequencies bounce off of buildings or don't penetrate walls and wouldn't be usable for us.
Developments like 4G, smart antennas, and small portable cell tower beacons are helping move more data faster, squeezing out most of the existing spectrum. Critics say carriers have been too slow to adopt these new technologies, preferring instead to fight for exclusive rights to more of the spectrum. The FCC says in the U.S. a combination of adding new technologies and licensing more spectrum are needed to avoid capacity problems.
You actually hang on 1 second for me. So what happens if more and more of us keep getting cell phones and we run out of room?
You're going to see more dropped calls. You're going to see slower speeds for connection. And the worst part, the unsavory part for consumers, is that carriers are going to start to limit your ability to connect to their network. So you're starting to see it already where AT&T and Verizon and other carriers are tiering prices so that once you hit a certain limit, they cap your data, they start to throttle back your speed. And that's the unfortunate reality, is that they're really, in effect, raising prices.